Never mind. I'll start the video, start everything. You have, oh, you have good volume? Oh, this is, oh, you brought your camera. Your camera's cute. Hmm.
So where you're gonna put the tray in front of here?
All right, I think we're just waiting for a couple more people to join. We look like we've got a lot of people already logged on to their Zoom accounts. I can see a lot of people. I can't see a huge amount of faces. So if you do feel comfortable enough to turn on your camera, please do, because it'd be quite nice to sort of interact and kind of feel like we're talking to somebody other than a little name. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start probably in, I would say, about 3 minutes or so. So just make sure that you guys have got all your bubbly ready. It's nice and chilled. You've got your glasses ready. It's also quite a good idea maybe just to get a pen and paper. If you've got any questions that you want to write down, you can do that too. It's also, if you're ready to make some food, I've got a board here. It's nice for you to have a board and a little knife, because we are going to be doing a little bit of slicing and dicing today.
Definitely excited for that.
Great, cool. So we won't be long, probably 1 minute or so. Let everybody else log on. It looks like we've got a lot of people. This was an incredibly popular event that we put on. Literally, you guys are very lucky, because I think it sold out within 48 hours.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
so it's been very popular. So hopefully you've all got your boxes as well. Your boxes were delivered by PnP online today, in both Cape Town and in Joburg, very efficiently, which is fantastic. So thank you very much, PnP online, for assisting with that. And we're almost ready to go, I think, eh? One or two couple more people to join. We're excited to get ready. So
exciting, yeah.
Okay. How many more people do you think we got to join? Perfect. So we can carry on. A few more people. We've got a couple, 8 or 9 people to join. So yeah, it's going to be a fun evening. We're probably going to take, I would imagine, about 45 minutes. If you know, it's quite hard to kind of time these things, but I would imagine put aside about 45 minutes, get yourself comfortable. As I said, most importantly, get that bubbly on ice. Make sure that that is ice cold.
And there is ours over there.
On ice?
Yeah.
On ice, for sure. Yeah, get yourself ready. We're going to have a great time. These are the boxes that actually arrived. Beautiful little boxes with a lot of different cool little canapes, which we're going to be making tonight. As you'll probably see inside the box, there's 4 different boxes. Each of them are labeled with all the canapes. Just open them up, have a little look and see what's inside. Get yourself familiarized with what it is, because we're going to be making some unbelievably delicious canapes. One little bite canapes for a perfect pairing.
I'm very excited for that. Excited to taste the canapes as well.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about the food, and Adiswa, you're going to tell us a lot about
the
Pongracz,
bubbly.
eh?
Yes. Definitely.
I've also got some stuff to learn about bubbly and how it's fermented, and the difference a little bit between MCC and sparkling wine, and where all that came from.
Well, I'm looking forward to learning from you when it comes to the food part. So,
yeah, well, we can chat all about the pairing. I mean, I think that's what's great about us chatting, like from a culinary perspective and from a winemaker's perspective.
Yes.
It's nice to kind of get those opinions going about, you know, how food and wine really sort of comes together.
And it would be really great to hear from the audience as well as to what they think and their opinions of the pairings. So
absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
All right, cool. I think we're almost ready to go, aren't we? Cool. Fantastic. I think we've almost got every single person here, which is fantastic. There doesn't seem to be any technical problems on your side. So I think we must kick it off, eh? So really, it's just a fantastically big, warm welcome to everybody to our first PnP Winemakers table. And that really is exciting, because it's the first time we've ever already done a wine club tasting on a virtual level.
And what an honor it is to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And obviously, thank you very much to our sponsors. The reason why you're here, of course, is because of our sponsors, the PnP Wine Club, as well as Pongracz, and as mentioned also before, the PnP online team. And thank you very much to them, because they were the ones who delivered all your boxes freshly today. So that's fantastic. And Yeah, my name is Jonathan Malden. I am a chef. I have been a chef for 12, 15 years or so. I've traveled around the world working in different restaurants in Cape Town, Sydney, and in France. And we've also spent a really good amount of time over the last 10 or so years creating some unbelievable events with PnP, and especially around food and around wine. There was the Stellenbosch Wine Festival we've done for many years, the wine and canapé tasting experience at all the taste festivals. And I'm just really excited about actually turning this experience online and sharing it with you. You know, and even now in 2020, you know, we can still enjoy our favorite pastime, which is eating. For me, it's eating amazing food and drinking incredible wine.
That's very important, yes.
Very, very important.
Yes.
And I'm here obviously with Ndiswe, and Ndiswe is the protege winemaker at Pongracz.
Yes, so I'm Ndiswe, I'm a Peleba. I hail originally from Zolo, where Miss Universe is from. I always say that. And I studied in Stellenbosch University, and I studied winemaking, and I went on to do my master's in consumer sensory research. So tasting is also a favorite part of my pastime when it comes to winemaking and actually food pairing. So thank you for having me here. This is actually my second vintage at Pongracz.
Oh, really?
So yes, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's great. So just before we get started with the pairings and we start talking about wines and food and how it all works together, just to let you know that your computers are muted at the moment, and that's just obviously to make you understand and to make us a little bit clearer. But also know that you are able to comment and you are able to chat within the chat box on the Zoom link. And also, if you want a better show of the screen, you must just press speaker view. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about Pongracz?
Okay. So Pongracz pays ode to Desiderius Pongracz, who was a noble Hungarian man who hailed from Hungary, obviously. He did a lot of work, viticultural work, with grape varieties such as Chardonnay and Pinot Noir we currently use in making Pongracz. So in 1991-92, the company decided to pay ode to the man who led the way for Cup Classique establishments to be made in South Africa, which was then known as Champagne. Then that's when the Cup Classique, the word MCC, Method Cup Classique, was formed.
Amazing. That's fantastic. Great. So, and Pongracz, Pongracz has been around for a couple of years in South Africa, and it's an amazing bubbly. There's two of the bubblies that we're going to taste today.
Yes.
What are they?
So we will be tasting the Brut, which is your dry MCC, and we will then follow with the demi-sec, which is the bubbly, lovely Noble Nectar.
Amazing. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So we're going to start with making some canapés, obviously, and we're really going to start about talking about wine pairing and how we've chosen to create these canapés. Please, if you can, it would be amazing if you could take some pictures of your creations and post them to social media. Make sure you use the hashtag PnP Wine Club as well as the hashtag Pongracz. And we're going to run a little competition at the end of this tasting where you can send that in, we'll monitor it, and we'll find 5 winners, and those 5 winners will win 200 rands worth of Smart Shopper vouchers. Okay, so I think that we can almost get going. You've got these beautiful boxes that were delivered to you today. These boxes were delivered, and within those boxes, we had some incredible little things to make, these canapés. And what we're going to do with these is we're going to create them with you, step by step, and we'll do a little bit of a tasting and a pairing of it afterwards. Okay?
Looking forward to it.
Amazing. So you can open up your box. Make sure, as I said before we started, that you got all your things ready. You've got your bubbly, which is chilled. You've got your glasses ready. You've got a little board and a knife, because we are going to be slicing and dicing a little bit. And yeah, we can show you what we've got in here. So open up your boxes at home. Open it up, and you'll see 4 little boxes inside there, and each of those represent a canapé. They've got all the ingredients that you need to make this canapé inside. So we've got 4 of them. 2 of them are going to be paired with the Brut, and the other 4 are going to be paired with the Noble Nectar.
Yes.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll create them. You've also got a nice little board here, a little branded board, and that's going to be your canapé board. This is what you're going to place all your 4 canapés on, and then you can take a beautiful picture of it afterwards, post it to social media. All right, so should we start with the first one? Go and grab the box that says goat's cheese truffle. All right, goat's cheese truffle over there. Grab that up, open it up, and you'll see that there's 2 little spoons inside there, and that's what you're going to be plating your canapé on. Place it onto your board. Just going to move this box now that we have taken that one out. Look.
I'll take it for you.
There we go. Got 2 of these little things, 1 each by the way, so that you can be doing this with your couple. You've also got 2 goat cheese balls, a little tub of flowers, and some watermelon preserve. And what this is it's going to be a goat cheese truffle with dehydrated flowers and watermelon preserve. And it works really well with the bubbly.
It
What are we pairing in
definitely
this
does.
fruit today?
So we will be pairing it with the brute. So the sweetness for me,
Yeah.
in my opinion, of the truffle will go very well with the acidity which the brute has to offer.
Perfect.
So it's a really great combination, and these are very pretty.
They are pretty.
Yeah.
Those are little flowers. So as I said, we've got our little goat cheese truffle, which is just a thing of goat cheese, which you can just roll into a little ball. It works very well. You've got a little teaspoon, and what you can do is you can just pop that onto your spoon, just like that. Very simple. There we go. I'll move that a little bit there so you can see that. Perfect. And then we've got these really cute little flowers. And what these are they just edible flowers. You can buy them in your Pick n Pay, or you can pick them in your garden. Dandelions, sunflowers. You can even use,
What flavor profile do they have?
They don't have much of a flavor profile. They're more about making things pretty.
Oh.
They smell quite nice and they give a very nice aroma.
Yeah.
So yeah, they work really nicely. And all you really do is you get these flowers, you put them into your oven for about 15 minutes, you dehydrate them on a low heat. You're not going to be cooking them. And then they come out really dry, and you can store these for as long as you want. And they're really beautiful for garnish, and they work really well with this dish. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop a little bit of this on. You don't need a huge amount. Just place it around, stick it on the sides a little bit. It gives a nice little texture. Share that with your partner. You've got a lot of flowers there. That's perfect. So once you've done that, looks great.
Yeah.
And then we've got our watermelon preserve. And we've decided to go with this watermelon preserve because it adds a little bit of sweetness.
Yes.
Kind of just jumps the dish up a little bit. Take your teaspoon and place a small amount of this beautiful freshness, little sweet element. There we go. On top. There we go. Is everybody following me? Everyone can see what I'm doing. And then if you want to also, you can throw a tiny little bit of a garnish on top as well. Look.
I'm guessing you have to have a lot of patience because I would have eaten that all.
We do have to have patience because we are going to make all 4 of them first, and then we're going to do a pairing, and we'll discuss exactly how to do a pairing. So I hope everybody has done that. There we go. Do you want to talk a little bit about why bubbly actually, as opposed to wine, is actually quite a nice pairing alternative just to normal wine?
That's a very new topic actually, because back in the day, bubbly was not really associated with wine pairing and food pairing. And nowadays, people are becoming more innovative in their tastes and in what they want to explore, and people feel free to actually pair bubbly with whatever they want to pair it with. And this is just an amazing pairing. As you said, I mean, the goat's cheese goes extremely well with the butteriness and the acidity that the brute has to offer, as well as the sweetness and the acidity of the bubbly will just balance and integrate everything out. So
yeah, it's
looking
exciting.
forward
We
to
did
that.
a lot of development with this, and when you basically check it out, really, so just if there are any allergens for watermelon preserve, just be aware of that. But I don't think there are any allergens for that. But we will, if you want to know watermelon preserve, that is exactly what's going on
Yes,
there. But we did quite a lot of development around this, and then we found that it worked really well because there was a kind of, when you eat the goat cheese, there's a creaminess and it kind of gives a great mouthfeel. And when you take a sip of the bubbly, it kind of cuts through that, which works really well.
Definitely does.
Okay, all right, perfect. So everyone's got that. I gave it a little bit of time to do it. We're going to move on to the next one, which we have paired with
the Noble Nectar.
Correct.
Yes.
So you got your Noble Nectar. The next one, what we got is a cute little one, and this is using a little bit of beef. And what we've got, you'll find in your bag, is a little backpack little thing of beef, and what it is, it's Masala cured beef. So I'll explain to you a little bit about the cure. We've got a little bit of a toast crumble, and the other one we've also got over here is a little bit of a Quincean Chili Jam, and then we've got quite a fun thing which I'll talk to you about now, and that is red peppercorn skins. And finally, a little tile. And when we're talking about canapes and little food items, it's always nice to kind of get creative with how you serve these canapes.
Yes.
And what we've done is we've just used a little tile, given it a little bit of clean and a sanitize, and you just pop that down onto your board. All right, and that's the first part of your canapé. So as I said, grab your little packet of beef, use your knife and your board just to slice it open and take that out. And basically what we've done with this is, as I said, it's a cured beef. So what I mean by cured is that you actually use 50% salt and 50% sugar, and that is a classic cure. You can add a lot of different flavors into that as well. You can add spices, you can add lemon rind, you can add pepper, whatever you want. And we've decided to go with a masala. And a masala is a very fragrant, very, very mild sort of curry. And we went with that because there's some really nice notes as well.
Yeah, there's some really nice notes that would really go with the Noble Nectar, and also on the palate, that velvety texture with the cured beef would go spectacularly. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got our little bits of beef, and then what you guys can do is you can open up the red looks like little flakes. And what this is, it's actually the skins of the red peppercorn. So it doesn't actually have a heavy pepper flavor, but it just gives the dish a beautiful color. It gives it a beautiful color, and smell it. It's got that beautiful aroma. Yeah, it's got that beautiful, really sort of fragrant peppercorn aroma, but it doesn't have that punchiness of the actual pepper. So, and then we've got our toast crumble, and this is very simple. It's literally bread that's been dehydrated in the oven, added a little bit of salt, and made into a bit of a crumble. And we've chosen this also because the notes and the yeasty flavors that come from this bread are definitely found in the Noble Nectar.
That will also go well with the Noble Nectar, because at the end of the day, it does have Chardonnay, and Chardonnay is known to produce bread yeasty aromas.
Magic.
Yeah.
All right. So get your little teaspoon if you can. There we go. And just put a little bit onto your tile of the bread crumble. There we go. Then you can grab your piece of beef. There we go, this little piece of beef over here, and just dip it ever so softly on two sides. There we go. And the other side into the pink peppercorns. There we go. And place that onto the board. So there you've got one side which is clean, the other side which has the pink peppercorns. And then finally, we're going to use our Quincean Chili Jam. And the reason why we decided on this Quincean Chili Jam is that quince also comes through.
Definitely.
It was amazing when we were doing these tastings, we could definitely taste that flavor of quince coming through as a bit of an aftertone on the Noble Nectar.
Yeah. Yes, it definitely it is there. I'm about to ask you to smile, because Noble Nectar, when you taste it, eventually it does have that sweet aroma, and the sweet, call it muscadel or muscat aromas, which will definitely go well with this.
Fantastic. So I hope everyone's keeping up. I'm going a little bit slowly. I can't see exactly what you guys and the pace that you are going at, but I'm going a little bit slowly. But if you do have any comments or something, it's great. I ate my pear already. I hope it
Oh,
won't be a problem.
you see what I meant?
Keep the comments coming, guys. It's really nice to sort of interact here. There we go. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this. There we go. And this is this Quincean Jam. And we're just going to place it on top. There we go.
We do it so well.
That's just popped on top. Make sure you don't eat it yet, guys. We're building a board. We're building a canapé board. So keep every one of your canapés ready, and then we're going to run through a beautiful tasting once we've got the wine in your glasses, and once we've got everything on the board. Well, that just fell off.
I think this is also a very interactive way of bonding with whomever you're doing the pairing with. So one person maybe does the other dish, and the other person does the next one. Or you can do both.
Great idea. Cool. So we've got 2 little canapés on our board so far. We're going to move on to the third. So pop this over here.
Right.
And the third one is a little canapé which is called duck rillette. And duck rillette is a French word, duck rillette, but it's really about how do you prepare this duck. And it's quite interesting because it's something that you definitely can do at home. And it's incredible because what you do is you can either get a whole duck or you can get a duck leg. And what you actually do is you confit it, another French word, but you cook it down slowly in its fat, in the natural fat of the duck. All that fat renders out and the duck becomes incredibly soft. You add obviously some aromatics, you add some peppercorns, add bay leaves, a little bit of salt, and you cook it down slowly, and then you pull all of the meat off, and you end up with what is in this tiny little jar of yours, which is called duck rillette. You can have a little taste if you want to, just to taste it. It's beautiful. There's my spoon gone.
Is it similar to the way you make it to pate?
Very similar, similar. But what it is, it's the meat that's shredded. So it's a very much a pate. Maybe it's a fancy word of saying pate. All right. So you've got that, and then you've also got these little Melba Toast, and these things are fantastic. These things you can use for canapés on anything. It's like a really good vehicle for a canapé. And these are available at PnP. They are selling a little box like this, and we use them all the time for our canapés. You can pop anything on top of it, some cream cheese, some smoked salmon, whatever you like, a little bit of pear, and they work perfectly. So this is going to be the base of your canapé this time. So you can pop that down also onto your board and get your spoon, and we're going to spoon out a small amount of the duck rillette. Can be a little bit chunky, so just move it around. Have a little spoonful for yourself as well. It's absolutely delicious. There we go, and just pop that on top. There we go. Marvelous. Cool. And so then when we develop this dish as well, it's got quite a lot of fat in this dish, and the fat is obviously flavor. That's what we always talk about when we talk about flavors and cooking. From a chefing perspective, fat is flavor, and so it really is amazing. But that's why this dish works, this canapé works so particularly well with the fruit.
It definitely does. I mean, from the base that you use, it brings out that biscuity and bread aromas, bread flavors, which complement very well with, go very well with our brut, as well as the fattiness of the duck may not be so prominent because you've got the acidity holding it up. So you aren't ready. If you are overwhelmed by fat, trust me, with this wine, you won't.
Those delicate bubbles almost cut through that fat.
Yes, definitely.
And then we wanted to take this canapé to the next level, and we also wanted to really just speak to the fruitiness and the freshness of the bubbles. So we're going to use pear. Pear is a lovely fruit that has really good crisp flavors. These are nice crisp pears. So what we're going to do is grab your board. I hope you got your board ready. There we go. Got your board, and you got your knife, and we're going to slice a very thin little slice off it, as thin as possible, almost like a little chip, like that. Do 1 or 2 or 3 if you want to try again, just to get it exactly right. Sometimes the knife slips, but try and get a nice, perfect little slice off it. If you've got it right, then you don't need to do any more. I got it wrong, so I need to do more. So we end up with a little disc like this. It's like a little chip, a pear chip. All right, and so what we want to try and achieve here is we want to try and make a little matchstick. So we're going to get this and we're going to do some very thin little lines across it down to create little matchsticks. Almost mini chips, mini chips. If your chips are too long, we can just cut them in half because they're going to go on top of this rillette as a nice little garnish, and it really adds a great freshness. So I'm going to cut it in half, so then you end up with, can you see, little matchsticks like this. Beautiful little matchsticks. All right. Okay. All right. Just reading a few little comments. The man who ate, or somebody who ate it. Who was that? Siyanda ate her pear. The whole pear, Siyanda. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this on top, these little matchsticks. Just about 4 or 5, I would say. There we go, just on top. And that will really give this dish a lot of freshness. It'll take the bubbly, the notes of the pear really through and kind of just round it off nicely.
Quick question.
Yeah.
An apple, same family of fruit, right, as a pear.
Correct.
Something that is prominent when you are tasting the fruit. That green apple flavors that come through when you
absolutely, and you can, and this is the kind of thing when we're talking about pairing.
Yes.
You know, it's nice to understand the kind of the background of why you're doing things, but really when it comes down to the rules of pairing, you need to get creative. You need to kind of think, what do I like? How would this work for me?
How would it suit you? Yes,
you know,
definitely.
I think that the rules of pairings have kind of changed and shifted quite a lot, and now they have really kind of, do we stop? We back on. Cool. Yeah, they kind of shifted, and it's become a lot more relaxed. Do what you want to do. So if you want to use pear, you want to use apple, you want to use...
At one of our wine shows, actually, one of our wines, they said that we should pair it with tribe. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Something that you can try.
There are no rules.
Yeah.
Amazing, guys. We're doing very, very well. Very, very well. And we've created 3 of the 4 canapes so far. We're going to move on to the last one, which is our really sort of fun one. How's everyone going there? Anyone want to ask any more questions? Post your creations, chaps, please do. As much as you can, take photos as you're going along. It'll be amazing. Okay, cool. Okay, and can you guys see everything? How's that? Is that better?
To the left.
There we go, we can see. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to remove this board because I don't need to be doing any more chopping. And the last little box that we have, guys, is this little box, which says Strawberry Turkish Delight. Okay, so this is the real fun little one. And as you said, wine pairing and food pairing does not need to be stuck up. It needs to be fun. It needs to be creative. And that is exactly what we're going to do now. So open up your box. It's the final box. You'll see there's 2 little jars over here. One jar here that has got the candy floss in it, and the other jar which has got some fun little popping candy.
Oh.
And then the last little box, it's got 2 little perfect little Turkish Delights in them. This Turkish Delight, of course, is found at PnP. They've actually just launched this for one of their Christmas ranges. It's the Rose Turkish Delight. It's beautiful. It's in some lovely packaging. It's perfect for a gift for Christmas. I think you can take it and take it to give it to your partner for Christmas.
He really likes sweets, so
amazing. Cool. So as I said, inside this little black box, there's 2 little Turkish Delights, one for you and one for your cooking partner. You can just place that on top of the board. Look at that color. Really, really fun. And then the second jar is a little bit of cotton candy, of candy floss. And this is cool. You can just pull it apart if you like. And this is going to go and sit just on the top of that. And that's quite fun. And then my favorite, which we discovered a little while ago, that you can buy at any little Pick n Pay, are these beautiful little popping candies. I don't know if you remember back in the day when we used to buy those popping candies with the lollipop and you pop it in your mouth.
they even had the chocolates that had popping candy.
Yeah, exactly. And like we decided, as I was saying, when it comes to these wine pairings, that let's kind of break the mold. Let's not follow the norm and stuff, you know. And so maybe sometimes it isn't only about flavor. Maybe it's about experience. And so that's why we chose this popping candy, because it really is about experience. We're drinking bubbly. The bubbly kind of like livens you up. It's got some beautiful mouthfeel.
Yes.
And with this popping candy, it just explodes in your mouth as well, which is quite fun. So just place a little bit. If you want to, you can use your teaspoon. Place a small amount on top. You can share this. There's plenty of going around. Throw the rest of it in your mouth and experience a little bit of bubbly in your mouth anyway. Chuck it in. Try it. Try it out. It's amazing.
I'm just thinking of how this popping candy and the candy floss and then the layer of Turkish Delight paired with the Noble Nectar is going to taste. Oh,
it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It is going to be fun.
Very good.
Amazing. All right, cool. So.
And when you close your mouth, you just hear.
Exactly. And it's about all the senses. It's not only about the taste, it's how you feel, it's what you hear. And that's really about what is important about food pairing, it's what is important about wine pairing. It's really about that full sensory experience.
Definitely.
So I think you guys should have all four on top. Please take a photo. Please post it to social media. Remember the hashtag PnP Wine Club and hashtag Pongracz as well. We are going to have a look at your photos, and we are going to choose 5 winners who are going to be able to win 200 rands worth of Smart Shopper points. Okay, so is everybody there? Tell me if you need any more time. Are you guys all good? Are you all good? See all the comments?
I'm actually still hearing crackles.
Still hearing crackles. Amazing. All right, cool. So now is the fun part. Now what we need to do is we're going to start doing the tasting. So please grab, which ones are we going to do first?
We are going to first taste the first portion and the third portion.
Correct. So that's going to be the goat cheese truffle and the duck rillette.
Yes.
So grab your bottle of bubbly. Hopefully it's nicely chilled. There's no excuses for warm bubbly in this world. Eh?
No, never. Never, ever. Otherwise you'll be asking for heartburn. Yeah, so let me just quickly open it.
Opening a bottle of champagne, or is there?
So basically, let me put this back on. The crown and the lid is actually called it's called a muzzle. And if you turn your Pongracz bottle, turn the wire, it's actually supposed to turn 6 times. Okay. Exactly. And that's how it's manufactured. So we source our muzzles in France, and it's made specially by a company there. Okay. My favorite sound.
Are you ready?
Woo!
Whoa! Sound of celebration.
Yes. So let me first pour yours.
Cool. And pouring? Tricks of the trade?
You know, each to their own, but I mean, if you're experienced enough, you'll know that if you just need to be gentle, you can't just pour as you like because there are bubbles. So you just need to be patient. And that was very generous.
Generous glasses are welcome here.
So when we make Pongracz, the main aim is good integration of your mouthfeel, your sweet and sour. That's why we actually source our grapes from maritime areas, which are cooler areas from the Western Cape, so that we get a nice fresh acidity, and we pick at between 18 to 20 degrees Balling. So that's how we measure sugar concentration, and at a point where your sugar is also not going to overpower your wine, because at the end of the day, you want a fresh, effervescent wine. So cheers.
Amazing. So everybody grab your glasses. I hope that they poured nicely. You can see those beautiful fine bubbles in it, eh?
And those bubbles are actually formed in the secondary fermentation that we do in bottle, just like the French.
Method champenoise.
Yeah, method champenoise, and we call it Cap Classique in South Africa.
Are we not allowed to call it champenoise here?
No. I mean, the French did patent that name, and each country has its own name for bottle fermented.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I know Spain has cava.
Yes.
Italy has, it's made slightly different, very different. Has prosecco, and we have caprese. So
So is prosecco bottle fermented or is it sparkling?
it's sparkling.
It's sparkling, so
Yeah.
it's not actually.
It's a different,
it's
yeah.
different in a way.
But that's their own way of making sparkling wine.
Okay.
So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, everybody, grab your canapé, and this is for you.
Oh, can't wait. So how do you eat this?
So this is why we made beautiful little canapés. Canapés with the wine tasting really should just be one bite. So throw it back off the spoon into your mouth.
Flavor burst.
Flavor burst. Give it a nice sort of chew. Let that let the cheese really sort of coat your mouth. And once you've taken about 3/4 of the way through, there's still a nice amount of residue around your mouth. Take a good sip of the bubbly.
Oh wow.
And really just work it around. And you find how those two flavors work so well, and how that creaminess and the delicate bubbles really cut through that cheese.
And how the sorry, I'm really enjoying this. And how the brute just lifts the entire meal. It's just actually very amazing. Wow. Thank you for this.
Absolutely. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So we're going to stay with the same glass, and we're going to move on to the third canapé that we created, and that one is the duck rillette. And the duck rillette, also, as we were explaining, has got more of a savory flavor.
Yes.
It really has got quite a lot of fat as well, which also works well with the bubbly, and it kind of just cuts it through as well. Hey? Okay, should we do it? Are you ready?
We have to share this one. I
No,
can't
you go,
do all
you
the
go.
eating.
You go. You do the
Okay.
eating.
Wow. Okay.
Sianda says, gosh, it tastes so good. Charles Wells says, delicious. All good to go. Fantastic.
I can almost taste the smokiness from the duck, and also complements the.
There is a certain amount of smokiness in this as well, isn't there?
It's very, very good. Can't finish it. Just put it aside.
Amazing.
Oh.
So these kind of canapes are very easy for you guys to create at home. And when you're doing a pairing, it's quite fun. You should just grab a couple of bottles of wine and just get creative. And like, when we talk about there being no rules, there obviously are a few sort of guidelines which we can give you about tasting and how you pair. I think one of the main things with me is that what we always talk about and what we always think about is kind of these kind of guidelines, like bold with bold and delicate with delicate. So I think sometimes if you've got a very bold wine, like say Cab Sav or something, exactly. You want to have also some food that stands up to that, because you don't want the wine to overpower the food and vice versa as well. So a delicate wine, you don't want to be serving with a hot curry or something, which the food would overpower that delicate wine.
You won't appreciate the wine. Also.
No, exactly. So there are definitely some guidelines. The other ones which also work quite nicely for me is sometimes saltiness and sweet work quite nicely together.
Definitely. Reminds me of salted caramel chocolate.
Exactly. Salted caramel chocolate. Another good example probably is also, when you are moving on to desserts and you have a nice salty Stilton cheese or blue cheese. That's why it works so well with something like port. You've got that saltiness and you've got the sweetness, and they work quite well together.
Definitely.
And that's kind of also where you can bring up the next point of, do you want to mirror flavors? Do you want to mirror flavors, or do you want to contrast flavors? They both work. They both definitely work. And I was thinking about it the other day when we went crayfishing, and I wanted to create a dish with the crayfish that I caught, and I wanted to do like a nice, quite creamy sauce. And I thought, which wine would pair with that? And that's kind of when I was thinking, well, you have that contrast. You can either use a contrasting wine, or you can use a wine that mirrors the flavor. So something like quite a wooded Chardonnay would work very well with that. Hey.
Yes. Chardonnay is known for its butteriness that it produces, so it is a great pairing for that. So because if you do something that's more acidic or less, that has less weight, you wouldn't pick it up
Yeah, and I
with
think
the
that's
dish. Yeah.
important as well.
Yeah.
So with wine with a little bit of less weight, it might fight a little bit.
Yes.
But then on the other hand, when you're saying that something sometimes works quite well when you contrast it, even something like a sharpish kind of, not sharpish, but maybe like a little bit more like a Sauvignon Blanc
Yes.
would actually work quite well because it would also cut through the acidity or the creaminess of the and the richness of that. So that's why mirroring and contrasting still works quite well when it comes to food and wine pairing.
Yeah, and also one thing we said earlier, it's, at the end of the day, it's your own perception. You can create your dishes however you want it, and how you can pair them whatever you want it, as long as you buy Pongracz.
Exactly, as long as you buy Pongracz. But I think that that's also what's so important, and we were chatting about it, is like how PnP Wine Club has really sort of opened up and sort of really kind of made wine so accessible to everybody, all cultures, all age groups. It's just made it really accessible. And that's what's so great about the Wine Club, is that they offer such great deals. They offer 20% off all wines. You also get, I think, on a monthly basis, there's a 25% on all wines as well. You get invited to events like this. It just sort of broadens the horizon of wine, and that's what I think that's really what the whole idea is try and get people to taste wine, to enjoy wine, and enjoy these food and wine pairings.
I think that's also very important, and I think companies like PnP embrace the South African wine industry. They embrace what we have to offer in the South African wine industry. So there's other avenues, other brands, but
Fantastic. Cool. Is everyone ready? Have they drunk their glasses? You can swig that back. You got one glass, and what we will do is we're going to refill that glass with our second bubbly. Is everyone all good? Perfect. And Sienna says that she also substituted with an apple. Amazing. Good.
Is she the lady who ate the pear?
My cat wants the duck. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So let's finish this one off. I'm not going to let this one go to waste.
Oh.
That was a big glass. That was amazing. Okay, cool.
Good.
So we're going to move on to the night nectar.
Yes. So this is
Take a cold one.
the Noble Nectar. It is our demi-sec. This wine is obviously sweeter than the Brut. The demi-sec is the off-dry wine, and it will be paired with the second and fourth dishes. Okay.
There you go.
Ooh.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. So we did an amazing tasting the other day, and because it does have a lot more sugar in it, but it's got a certain amount of acidity as well.
It does, and you don't really pick up the lot of the sugar much because of the acidity that balances it out. So I mean, in the first pairing that we did with the we mentioned that the sweetness of the watermelon preserve will just complement, as you said, will complement what the sweetness that is picked up on the wine. So.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So we're gonna taste our next one, which is the Masala cured the beef, and that's obviously done with the toast crumble, a little bit of the chili and quince jam, as well as a dusting of the pink peppercorns. So do you want to give this a go?
Definitely.
Amazing. So yeah.
So how would you eat this?
Straight in. Go for it. Amazing. Yeah. So I really like that kind of the cured, because curing back in the day actually was a preservation method, and curing meat was what people used to do before the ages of fridges. So they were cured. It draws all of the moisture out of the meat, and what it does is it preserves it. So it's exactly like biltong, really. As you'll taste this, it's a little bit. It's not too salty. We didn't salt it as much as biltong would, but we added those very nice floral notes of the masala, which comes out nicely, as well as the very subtle flavors of the pink peppercorns.
Amazing. I mean the lychee that you get from the wine, as well as the peppercorns, that combination in the dish is just Amazing. And also, I mean, the texture of the crumbs at the bottom. Amazing.
Good.
Great.
Well, I hope that you enjoy that as well. I hope you're still not chewing and more drinking than chewing. That's great. You guys have the best job. I know. That is for sure. Okay, amazing. Cool. So we're going to move on to the last one. And the last one we've got is the Turkish Delight. As I said, also available in PnP. You want to do the last one? And this is the little flavor experience of ours. So
I'm not having dinner tonight.
you're not having dinner tonight. All right, cool. So pop that in your mouth. Give that a chew. Let it come through.
Oh, really?
Oh, you can hear all the popping going on. Okay? I can hear the popping. I can definitely hear it going on. A little bit of a swig.
What an experience.
It's fun. It's something different. It's not your general pairing, which is amazing.
No, as also like you said, you mentioned earlier that it's all about your senses. It's taking me back to my childhood, those crackles and
exactly. And with bubbly,
candy.
It kind of just adds something fun, which I think it really should be.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. So I hope you guys loved those tastings. I think they worked very well, and I really enjoyed this bubbly. As I said, my initial thought was that it was quite sweet, but it really isn't. It's well balanced. It's a demi-sec. It's not a sweet wine, which is fantastic.
Cheers. Cheers.
I could drink this all night. Amazing. So, as you see in your boxes, guys, you've got a few little flyers. Obviously, this is the beautiful little the Winemakers table menu. We've got a few questions here also, which is quite nice, which are being part. Do you want to read out some questions?
Okay. Nomta says, any alternatives to melon preserve?
Yeah, absolutely. So the melon preserve really was there for sweetness and a little bit of freshness. So you can swap it out whatever you want to. Sometimes it's nice to use a little bit of berry. It's nice to add a sweetness to the goat's cheese because it lifts it up a bit. So if you don't have melon preserve, a little bit of strawberry jam, a little bit of, even a little bit of chutney would work perfectly well as well. So a little bit of sweetness, something that's got a little bit of a jamminess that'll sit quite nicely on there would be perfect.
And then Graham says, does PnP sell masala cured beef?
So you need to go and you need to make your masala cured beef. So this is what you need to do. Get yourself a beef fillet, or if you'd like to use sirloin or whatever cut of meat you want to, you can cut it into a little cube or you can cut it into a little steak. And as I said, the recipe is so simple. Half sugar, half salt. It's better to use coarse salt and brown sugar if that's possible, but it doesn't really matter. And then add whatever aromatics you want, which in this case, as I said, we use masala. And then what you do is you leave it covered in the fridge for, I would say, 24 to 48 hours maximum. And then you take it out of the fridge, you wash it under the tap, and you let it dry for a bit in the fridge. Then you can just slice it, and that's exactly what you would have. Perfect masala cured beef. All right.
Interesting. Okay.
Amazing. Guys, you've done an incredible job. Incredible. Just to let you know, as we're sort of wrapping up, that inside your box over here, you have all been given 20% off the Pongracz Brut and the Pongracz Noble Nectar as well. And all you need to do is you just need to swipe your Smart Shopper card, and then you'll also, when you do that, get entered into a competition, which is to win a 3-liter bottle of bubbly. And maybe we'll have another prize for somebody who can tell me what a 3-liter bottle of bubbly is named. That would be interesting. Do you know what it's called? Yes, of course you do. Of course you do. Let me know what you think the 3-liter bubbly is called. And just a little bit of a reminder also, the Wine Club members, you will get 3 times Smart Shopper points as well. If you do get that as a Wine Club member. You also get free delivery when you enter Wine Club into your delivery when you're shopping online. And you also get discounted tickets to amazing little events like this as well. As I mentioned, you've also been given the 20% off, which is fantastic. And yeah, I think that what we can do is we can read out the winners who have been able to, who've gone and who are going to win 200 rands worth of Smart Shopper points. Would you like to read out the winners?
Bacon the move.
Yeah.
Okay, Bay on the move.
Bay on the move. Bay on the move. Well done in the social media
And at
post.
Turnbull Patsy.
Turnbull Patsy, lovely, well done.
Charles Wells.
Yes.
Gina.
G Gina.
Gina, yes. And Candies.
Candice Bester.
Yes.
Amazing.
Candice C. Bester, yeah.
Candice C. Bester. Well done, guys. That's unbelievable. You guys are going to be contacted by the Pick n Pay marketing team who are going to be able to let you know how you're going to redeem your prize. And yeah, I think that that kind of wraps us up. And thank you very much again to our sponsors, Pick n Pay Wine Club, Pongracz, of course, and the Pick n Pay online team. And thank you so much, Anissa. It was amazing to meet you. And it was unbelievable for you to tell us a little bit more about Pongracz, and it's been fantastic.
Thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed the canapes, and I will definitely be making some of my own using Pick n Pay products as well as Pongracz.
Fantastic. And guys, there is a survey that's in the chat box at the moment. Please go and fill that survey out. It will just let us know a little bit more about what we can do, how we can do it better, and maybe we would love to continue to do these events. So let us know what you'd like to do, and we would listen to you, fill it out, and thank you guys. It's been amazing. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you to Pick n Pay again, and we will see you next time. Just note that this event sold out in 48 hours, so get on it. We're going to maybe increase it next time. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Okay. I still have some Turkish Delight.
Cool. We'll post this right now. So keep online, guys. We're just going to post the survey and make sure that you fill it out. Thanks so much.